Coming up on show 761, Tesla's traffic light and stop sign control system is in cars, and we find out what it's like. Stick around, I'll tell you more. Plus, we're talking about the BMW iX3. Official images leak online. The Audi A6 gets a plug-in variant. Tesla's software and self-driving infrastructure has Volkswagen worried. Really? And the delay of workers to car factories continues. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, in fact, wherever you're listening around the world. Welcome to EV News Daily. This is what happened on Monday, 27th of April. My name is Martyn Lee, going through every EV story so you don't have to. And I'm playing catch-up at the moment. Thank you for your understanding. Long-time listeners will know that 2 became 3 last December. My wife and I had tried for a family for a very, very long time, years. And dream finally came true last December. The last few days I've had to spend a little bit more family time and just focusing on the little fella for various reasons. And so EV News Daily had to take a little pause, but back and catching up. Thank you for understanding. Thank you as well to myev.com for helping me make the show. It is a marketplace in the US, specifically built all about learning about and buying and selling electric vehicles as well. So check them out at myev.com. Well, BMW has yet to officially reveal the iX3, basically an electric version of the X3. However, official images are now online thanks to an Instagram account. It looks like a leak, but maybe it's one of those leaks accidentally on purpose kind of things. Well, the iX3 in these new images is absolutely identical to the BMW X3. Okay, there's some extra blue bits. There's also some older leaked photos going around online of the iX3. It looks exactly the same as that as well. The grille, the headlights, the front fender, the lower fascia, the crease down the side, they all match. The blue accents, yes, they are there. EVs, for some reason, tend to have blue accents. I don't know why car makers think that we need a little bit of blue on the door handle or something, but yes, it is there. According to Motor1.com, BMW's trademark chunky taillights are there in the iX3 badge. The blue accents on the lower bumper are stand-ins for the missing tailpipes, where you might expect the tailpipes to be on the fossil version. We've got some little blue accents there. The iX3 will be using a 74 kilowatt hour battery. Not the biggest in the world. A single electric motor making about 286 horsepower and only powering the rear wheels. Estimated range of 273 miles. And you know what? If you can get 273 miles out of a X3 sized and weight of a car, then you're doing very well. That's WLTP, which is the European way of measuring it. EPA range often less. It doesn't matter. BMW said last month they've changed their mind. Now no plans to bring the car to the US market, and that, my friends, is a big, big shame. The X3 is a big seller, and the more competition that we have for the Tesla Model Y, the better, because the more competition for all EVs, the better. It'll force all car manufacturers to up their game. Rising tide floating all boats and all that. That's a real shame, but there's certainly other cars in that segment-ish, which I think may be on the shopping list for people like the Volvo XC40 Recharge, the VW ID4/ID5. One of those is going to be more of a crossover SUV style, and so, real shame. But that BMW iX3 will be made in China. All the versions will be made in China and exported not just to the domestic market, but around the world as well. The battery size is perhaps the only thing that could do with maybe a little 10 to 15% bump. If it was 84 rather than 74 kilowatt hour battery, I do think that you'd have a very, very compelling car, but of course that makes it more expensive. The X3 is a massive seller for BMW in fossil form. In electric form, I really hope for the same. I'm looking forward to seeing that car in the flesh. Staying with BMW, their trademark documents posted online a couple of weeks ago have revealed some information, and so we're going to do some speculating here. The BMW X8, that's a big car. The X8M could be on the horizon. A report from Car Scoops claims that the X8M will indeed be a plug-in hybrid. Well, according to Autoblog, Marcus Flash is the head of BMW's M division, and last year he indicated that if it brings any plug-in hybrid to market, it'll be via the M-branded cars, larger, heavier ones as well, crossovers like the X5, the X6, and yes, the X8. X8, the M versions of all of those, very quick cars, very sporty cars as well. The X8 plug-in could make about 750 horsepower. Woo! Yeah, BMW would probably use their 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8 in that, because they got plenty of room in the front of it, and they'll need a big engine, but also combine it with some electric motors to get sky-high power numbers, says Autoblog. The first plug-in hybrid to the BMW M range would be very nice coming at the top of the range with the X8, and so that would certainly make a few of the doubters take a second look, if you know what I mean. Well, staying with plug-in hybrids, an Audi and their A6 Avant could get a plug-in powertrain, at least here in Europe. The A6 Avant has been added to its growing range of plug-in models. The plug-in hybrid system built around a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine at 252 horsepower, and it's the same Turbo 4 that powers electrified cars that they make, like the A7, or the Q5, It joins forces, according to Autoblog, with an electric motor and a 14.1 kilowatt-hour motor, lithium-ion battery pack, to send a total of 362 horsepower to all four wheels. It's an Audi. You won't be surprised to hear me say the word quattro, but of course the fossil stuff driving one axle and the electric stuff driving the other. Now, Audi reckon about 5.7 seconds to go 0 to 60, electronically limited to 155 at the top end, and if you want to just do it on electric motor alone, you can still set the cruise control at 84 miles an hour and be doing that purely on electric power, which you would burn through very quickly. 31 miles of all-electric range on that car. But like I say, if you're going to be doing 84 miles an hour on the freeway in that, or maybe we call them motorways because it's going to be in Europe, then you're going to burn through that a little bit quicker than pootling around town. Moving on, Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess is worried about Tesla's lead in self-driving and software. In an internal Volkswagen email that leaked this past weekend, Diess discussed Tesla's impressive system for improving their vehicle's self-driving capability. It's what many people would call the neural net. In other words, every single Tesla car is connected to the mothership, and every mile driven, and even on autopilot or not, is certainly logged, but every mile driven on self-driving helps to make the system just that little bit better. Herbert Diess seemed to be admitting that Tesla's full self-driving infrastructure in the cloud is superior to what else is on the market today. According to Teslarati, he said, "What worries me the most is the capabilities of the assistance systems. 500,000 Teslas function as a neural network that continuously collects data and provides the customer a new driving experience every 14 days with improved properties. No other automobile manufacturer can do that today." End quote. And if that was indeed the head of VW saying that to an internal memo, probably to his, I imagine, the people that can make a difference at VW, he's maybe giving them a bit of a rocket up the backside to say, look, 500,000 cars every day providing feedback and data to make Tesla's systems better. And certainly VW have got their own challenges to overcome. But it's good to see that rather than the script that many automakers have followed over the last few years, and you'll know what I mean when I say this, the script they've followed is everything's fine. When we start making EVs, we'll show the others how it'll be done. Don't you worry, we know how to make cars. Just you wait till we start. And I like that VW, maybe the Dieselgate thing has fed into this as well, but I like that VW has an air of humility at the moment. They know they have to really knock it out of the park with the ID series, and they're not. They've definitely changed their tune under Herbert Diess. No longer saying, if we want to make a great EV, we'll make one tomorrow. And it's more like, look, we're taking this seriously, we're doing our best, and we wish them luck. We really, really do, actually. Main story today, and Tesla's latest over-the-air software updates, which, if you're following, is 2020.12.6, started rolling out to Tesla's global fleet recently. It's the highly anticipated stopping at traffic lights and stop signs feature, according to Inside EVs. Well, to be clear, the technology actually does stop at traffic lights and stop signs, but where many people are finding A challenge, I'll put it that way, is that it does stop at all traffic lights and stop signs. It's in beta form, and it's meant to be in beta form because it's designed to keep drivers safe in the very first instance, even if I think even the biggest Tesla fanboy would admit it needs a little bit of finessing. It's supposed to stop at all lights, and even green lights, until you verify otherwise. It also has some conservative settings at this point, including autopilot, speed limit restrictions. And one common issue is bridge overpasses and deactivated lights, actually tricking the system. Since the driver is always in control and the driver must interact with this system, a certain level of safety is assumed because you're not handing over control to the car. However, having your car stop in the middle of a busy highway is not ideal. Some would say it's unsafe. It's certainly a faff, and it's a hassle, and it's a pain. Every junction and intersection and traffic light and stop sign that you come up to, even if the traffic light is green, the car will start to slow down. And the car, as far as the videos that I've watched online so far, and maybe this will be finessed very quickly by Tesla's software team, you have to always be confirming, yes, you can continue. Yes, it's a green light. Carry on going. Look, safety first. I get that. Safety first. As always, the driver must, even when autopilot is on a straight road with no other cars around, the driver must be in control of the vehicle at all times. So I get it. It's not the most magical piece of technology yet, but I can see where it's going. And man, it's impressive that it's even working at this stage as well. If you have it in your car, I would love to know. Obviously, I'm not a Tesla driver myself. I would love to know what you think of it. Email the show anytime about any topic. The address is hello@evnewsdaily.com. Well, let's talk Tesla. And they're delaying the return of workers to the Fremont factory, as workers were going to be going back sooner rather than later. The factory shutdown has been delayed, or the shutdown's been continued really because of an extension of the shelter-in-place order in the Bay Area. Says Fred at Electric. He says that Fremont, which of course is where Tesla's main factory is, has been shut since March 23rd. The shelter-in-place order in the Bay Area happened then. Tesla was planning on reopening the factory May 4th, when the shelter-in-place order was supposed to be lifted. However, confirmed today that they will extend that shelter-in-place order through to the end of May. So at the moment, as it stands, according to current, not just guidelines, but I think that's legislation, or certainly an order, those kind of factories and industry will be staying closed at least until the end of May to contain the virus. What about a 7-seat Model Y? A Canadian Tesla owner who purchased the Tesla Model Y with 7 seats has reportedly received a phone call from Tesla asking if he would be ready to take delivery of the Model Y in the second quarter of 2020, according to Clean Technica. Now look, we always put a little caveat in here when we say somebody said something on the internet, because it's very easy for people to say anything on the internet. Not yet confirmed which directions the seats will face either. But this Canadian owner does claim that Tesla has said, would you be ready and willing to take delivery of your 7-seater? Will the seats face forward? No, 100% not. Front-facing seats in the prototype were included. However, when those prototype test drives happened at the launch, and a few of the people who were smart enough just to lean over the back seat and take a little picture facing down, there was what looks like 2 inches between the front of those 2 rear seats and the back of the middle row of 3, if you like. So unless you're putting someone in the back of the Model Y whose legs are no more than 2 inches wide, you're probably going to want to make rear-facing rear seats. So it probably will be those exactly the same as you could spec on the Tesla Model S back in the day, which was those rear-facing jump seats, and so that is probably what the spec will be, unless they've made significant design changes since the prototype, which of course is always possible. And the final story today is a car that's been getting lots of attention, I've noticed online in the blogs, fully charged, made a video about it as well, lots of love being given to a Chinese EV maker called Xpeng. It looks like it's spelled Xpeng, but I hear the people from the company pronounce it as Xpeng. So we'll go with the people that actually work at the company and call it that. They announced the launch of their P7. The P7 is a sports sedan saloon. It's a super long-range car, very high performance, fast charging as well, and it's the second production model in their stable. The P7 is available to order in China in 3 versions and 8 configurations, and customer deliveries start in June. It all starts at 229,900 RMB. CATL have done the prismatic battery pack for it. The P7's front-facing, side-facing, rear-facing cameras, there's multiple cameras as well, covers a 180-degree field of view, following tight curves and recognising vehicles cutting in at close quarters. Xpeng's P7 has the industry's first new generation forward-looking millimetre wave radar sensors with detection distance over 200 metres. That is a market-leading accuracy and angle of view, they say. It sees through rain, fog and haze to perceive its surroundings in reduced visibility. 4 more high-performance millimetre wave radars are at each corner of the car, which they say is industry-leading, and we look forward to seeing more about the Xpeng P7 as we get more details. Like I said, I think a bit of a PR offensive at the moment, because I've seen them covered in many places. On Sunday, I'll read out your answers to Question of the Week. Sunday's show looks like it's going to be a good one, because we're talking about which car you've driven in your lifetime, which you would love to convert to EV, past or present. What fossil car conversion can we do for you to EV? Anything you want to get in contact with the show about, you can email me hello@evnewsdaily.com or leave a comment on the YouTube show. Thank you to 235 patrons of the show. We're funded by Patreon, which is where you, for one or the price of a posh coffee a month, or maybe a couple, actually $5 or $10, you can support the work that I'm doing every day, mostly every day, and I appreciate all the patience as well of the Patreon supporters as we just take a couple of days break. There are 760 previous shows in the archive for free, and if you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts, it helps me grow the show. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow. And remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.